G'day everyone, Paul Stone, our CEO, Biggin and Scott, joined today by Daniel Ashton from our Elsternwick office, who is Salesperson of the Month for November. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's 2018, in case you're looking right back. Mate, congratulations.
Thank you.
To be Salesperson of the Month in November, you've worked your ass off because things aren't great out there, are they? It's pretty tough dealing with the buyers.
Pretty challenging at the moment, yeah. So,
we love the finance people, don't we?
It's it's a tricky landscape right now. Yeah.
So maybe just for the younger guys, hopefully who are watching, how you're dealing with your buyer work at the moment, and probably even there's a bit of price correction you'd be doing with a lot of your owners at the same time to keep them informed.
Yeah. I was looking back at the sales before I came, and just to kind of reflect on it all, and it's a bit of a licorice all sorts actually in terms of how it's how November came together.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's pretty, but I'm just getting it done. And that's the type of market we're in at the moment. I think if you remain focused, patient, calm, keep your vendors the same way, and obviously give them good advice at the right time, and know when to to push it a little harder, and know when to hold firm and give them that advice. Then you end up getting it done. But like I say, it doesn't look that pretty to look back on it. They were tough deals, and you almost feel like you're thrashing every one of them out to get them done. But got it done. So
because the reality at the moment is you might have your emotional buyer who's at a really good price, but your next step down, who's a price buyer, there's a very big gap, and explaining that to the vendor sometimes is difficult, and it's not a great...
Oh, absolutely. And you need to articulate that very well in today's market from the outset. That at any point in time, if I call you and say, we need to look at this buyer, you need to listen to me. Because it's almost like, I think we had a meeting last night with a vendor. I've got an offer on a property, and I think the analogy I used was, it's almost like you're standing at a conveyor belt and the dirt's going along on the conveyor belt, and you see a gold nugget and you pick it up. That's what it is. You're almost sifting through all of the opportunistic buyers, the people that can't get finance, the woers, the opportunistic buyers, to find that one who's switched on, wants to get on with their life, is prepared to pay a fair price, and you just got to grab them and hold on, tight.
And it's the difference between 5 to 6 weeks on the market or 12 weeks on the market, and they can go.
But sometimes that gold nugget doesn't come till further down the track. You've just got to be ready for it and patient and waiting for it. When you see the signs, let your vendor know, but have them pre-positioned to be waiting for that gold nugget to come along on the belt as well.
Now, Ed and I were just talking about it. Auctions are still doing their job pretty much. They may not necessarily sell on the day, but they're uncovering a buyer who more than likely has to deal with the finance difficulties that we're having, and it gets done a week or 2 weeks later. So the uncovery side of things is still happening fairly well.
Look, I mean, most things aren't selling at auction. Interestingly enough, the last couple of auctions for the year in Elsternwick were strong. There seems to be
Bill told me about the apartment.
Seems to be some support in the higher end. I mean, some of the apartments as well, but interestingly enough, the higher end's getting support. And when I say higher end, I'm talking 3 million plus for Elsternwick. The 1.5 to 2.5 is probably still the problem belt at the moment. And then lower down, probably a bit more support, but probably feeling it a little more than we were a couple of months ago, sub $1 million as well. So,
okay. So if I was a young guy just starting, and our advice is always build your database, what would your advice be for them in terms of the buyers that you come across and any of the vendors that you're dealing with?
Well, the first thing I'd say is don't run. We'll get through this. It's just a point in time. But this market helps people that want to go the extra mile, agents that want to go the extra mile to shine, really, because gone are the days of just putting it on the internet and turning up and taking the names, and they come along and bid like crazy. You have to work, and you have to have your scripts to overcome objections and to point out positives when it seems like everyone just wants to point out the negatives.
Yes.
So, this is the time for established and young agents to shine if they're good at their craft. And I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that you say with the negatives, because I've been to a couple and I've been standing there with the guys and it's negative, 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 and I actually said to somebody last week, with that sort of attitude, you won't be buying anything. And they were just like, I said, no, seriously, if you like a house, you're going to have to work it out.
And I've had that conversation with with some buyers as well, and it can get a little bit uncomfortable. I had one that got a little bit antsy, and then we ended up recovering, and and I apologised for kind of making her feel like I was rude, but explained what I was trying to explain to her, and that was, if you're buying a house to live in, it's all well and good to try and pick the bottom of the market, but the house that you want to live in needs to be available at that time as well. So if something comes along that you like, and what you like is not coming on too frequently, letting it go to try and find the bottom of the market, it's a dangerous game, because once we hit the bottom, if you've noticed it, and most people don't, but if you have, if the right house is not on the market at that point in time, then you've got to wait for the right house to come along, and guess what's happening? You're chasing it up again. So you try and articulate that to buyers, to explain to them that, don't get caught up in the media hype. There's good buying opportunities, but if you see something that you like, don't let it go hoping that the market's going to bottom out a little bit further, maybe save yourself a couple of %, but then the right house is not on, and you're either chasing the market up or you're buying something that's not actually right for you.
Yeah, it's very true. So difficult times. We're in the middle or towards the end of December now. You're having a break?
Having a break.
A recharge?
I must have a break.
Just make sure you put the office address in the GPS so you know how to get back.
Hopefully I'll find my way back after I'd say the first week of non-stop sleep, just to recharge, and then hopefully a bit of relaxation. But no, it's good. I'm going up to see my family and just staying local this year. I've been international the last couple of years, but the purse strings are a little tighter this year, Paul, so we'll stay local, I think.
Congratulations on a great year.
Thank you.
The first quarter we're thinking will be very much as it is now. There'll just be less property, so it'll be the new normal. Which is
and that's what we're seeing. I'm not seeing a flood of stock. I think I've got 5 on for February, March so far. Got a couple of off markets that I'm working on which might convert over. So so I've got a healthy stock level for me at this point in time. Like a few more, as we always would. But hopefully the new year brings a bit of renewed confidence and interest, and the fact that we've had a couple of really
recognition of value, I think, is the one, because you're correct, where people are trying to chase the market to the bottom and you just don't know when it is there. So value represents value. If that's the home that you've always wanted, either you can afford it or you can't.
Buy it. You're getting it at a discount rate to what you were previously. If it suits you, just buy it. Stop trying to pick the bottom of the market. That's my advice to buyers, and that's my advice to agents who are trying to overcome paralysed buyers at the moment.
Yes, Congratulations, mate.
Thanks very much.
Look forward to seeing you in 2019.
Hopefully here again.
It's a big number. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.